What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coffee Talks Live with Sizzle Speaks. I'm excited to have you here. This is my YouTube channel where we talk about all things love, leadership, lifestyle, leveling up. So, thank you for being here today. It is episode 8 of Coffee Talks Live. So, shout outs to episode 8. I do this every Thursday live at 4 p.m. PST, which is 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. on the East Coast for my East Coast people. And so I want to say make sure you like the channel, subscribe, share it out to your friends. And the channel is basically about those four key topics. So love, lifestyle, leadership, leveling up, with a real heavy focus on making sure my women are taken care of in their souls and their businesses and their professional personal development. So happy to have you here. Today's episode is different than my previous episodes. As you see, I'm here solo this week. I don't have a guest on. I wanted to take a minute and really be one on one with my audience. I've had a really tough week this past week. A lot has shifted in my personal life. I've dealt with a lot of different emotions this week. So I wanted to talk about how I got to this place, and something that I've realized in my journey is super important. And it may be just as important to you and wherever you are in your life. And that is really the power of saying no and working through understanding that it's important that you have a full cup before you pour into others, or else you'll leave yourself feeling a multitude of emotions, one being burnt out, and not maybe feeling valued or worth it. So it was important to me to do this episode solo by myself, and really just speak from my heart without interruption. And I hope that my story resonates with someone, and you guys can learn from where I'm in my position. So, I am about to be 40 next month. It's a major time in my life. 40 is a big milestone, and you would think that, and I may get emotional in this episode, so I apologize in advance, but you would think that turning 40, would be something that would be worth celebrating. And it is, and it is going to be, but I'm turning 40, or going to be turning 40, off the strength of learning a lot as a woman, learning a lot as a person, learning a lot as a leader, learning a lot as a mentor, motivator. So it's exciting, but it's also a sad time for me. Um, so I say all that to say, in the past 20 odd years, I spent a lot of my time focused on developing others. Hi, Candice. I see you. Developing others, working through making sure other people feel extremely strong in whatever it is that they want to do. I spent a lot of time as an entrepreneur, right? Working on other people's visions, the plans that they had, from as far as I can remember, especially in college. College is when it really happened for me. And I really realized, like, I didn't go to school for me. I went to school, to be there and support everyone else. Like, I graduated with probably like a 2 point something GPA. Wasn't good, right? Um, and so through that, this past year has allowed me to realize just how much I've given of myself to others, and not really given back to Stacy and back to Sizzle Speaks. And it took a really major event to occur for me to realize, like, it's time to say no. It's time to work on the essential things. It's time to pour into myself, and give back to me all the things that are owed to me that I missed out on because I was so focused on everyone else. And I know I'm not the only one who shares the same sentiments, and works hard to make sure other people are taken care of, whether you're a mother, and you have children, or if you're in a place where you just want to be a really great friend, um, or you're working for someone and you feel like the more you do, the better you are as an employee or an associate, and it's all not true. Like, it's not the way to maximize your own personal potential. And so the assumptions that we tend to make is, I have to, right? It's, the feeling of like, I got to do everything. It's everything's important, right? It's all important. Like that party I have to go to, this task I have to get done, this person's whatever needs to happen. Like it's all important. And the other thing is, like, we assume that we can do both and we can do everything, and that's the non-essential thought process, or the non-essential thinking person has these moments and feels like, hey, I can do it all, I have to do it all. And the truth of the matter is, you have to have the mindset where you choose to, right? It's not you have to, you choose to. um it's not it's all important. It's I can do anything, but not everything, right? Because we have many skills as humans. Like, we've worked, and if you're anywhere near my age, you've worked probably at a certain point in your life in many different places and learned different skill sets. And we can do anything, but we don't have to do everything. And there's only a few things that really truly matter. Not everything is important, not everything is essential. And so the power of being able to say no allows us to really work in a space that creates a boundary and protects the person that we're meant to become. And it allows it allows us to flourish as who we're supposed to be and who God intended us to be in the purpose and the path that he has for us. And I'm not a very spiritual person. I believe and I pray, and I know there's a higher power, whether it's God or whomever, who is watching over me, thankfully, because everything in life happens for a reason, and I truly truly believe that. And so this past week, when I was faced with one of the biggest shifts in my life, and being moved out of a position of giving 110% to a person and someone else's dream, um, for over a year, and not allowing myself to pour into me the same way. And then in a matter of a moment, that all shift and that all change, and being able to see that there's people out here that I impact on a daily basis that I don't even realize. Like, there's people that I influence on a daily basis, and give the strength and the power sometimes that I don't even have. And it allowed me to see that, there's more for me. There's more for Sizzle. There's more that I'm not really tapping into, because it's being blocked by what I intended to be, um, loyal and helping, of someone in others, right? Because again, I wore many different hats and said yes to everything. Any event, anything that someone had going on, I was present, I would go to, I would spend the money, I would show up. But I didn't do the same for me 100%. And it's amazing to see, like, when you let go of the need to say yes, and you learn that no is okay, there's so many more doors that open, because you know that there is a higher power. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. Like, there's more for you, there's more in store. You're meant to be bigger than what's in front of you right now. So I say all that to say, I encourage you, if you're in a position where you're not saying no in your relationships, your friendships, at your place of employment, whatever situation that you're in, if you find that you are having a hard time saying no and a hard time creating that boundary, that you have to take a step back and do an internal wellness check to see, are you depleting your emotional bank at the stake of someone else or something else? Are you running yourself thin because you're trying to do everything because you think the results of doing everything is making you a better person, a more productive person, a more loyal friend. If any of those things resonate, you gotta, do a temperature check and really focus on you in the bigger picture and what's important to you. So um it's hard work. It's hard to tell people no. It doesn't feel good. Like no one wants to hear no. No one wants to hear I can't. It's about me. No one wants to feel like they pick up the phone to call you and you don't answer because you're focused on you and you don't have time to maybe chit chat or gossip about what's happening with somebody else's life. Many different things. But it's critical. It's critical in your own development to be in that space and be that person and remove that personal attack that sometimes we give ourselves when we have to say no and feeling like we're letting people down or we're letting ourselves down, because it's not about any of that. It's about this person in here and what you need to feel 100% complete and whole. And again, you'll block the ability to see your greatness. You'll block the ability to see the potential. You'll block the ability to see the path that has already been created for you if you continue to work in a space where you feel like you have to do everything and that you have to show up all the time and that everything is important and that you can do it all, because it's impossible to do everything for everyone and also be 100% available to your own needs and your own self. Um, and Candace said, we can do anything, but we don't have to do everything. Ooh, that's good. Yeah. And I'll tell you, there's a book that I am reading that I got from one of my good friends, Brenda Boyd. It's called The Essentialism, right? Because he noticed, he's been in my life for 20 plus years, and he actually noticed at a certain point that I was repeating the same cycle of saying yes to everyone or saying yes to specific people and what they wanted to do and not focusing on the high ROI items for Stizo, right? Not focusing on the things that would give me the greatest return in my own personal life and my own personal path and my own personal career. So he suggested this book, and it's great. I'll put it in the description box below so you guys have access to it. And I definitely recommend, if you're a person right now and you're in a position where you have yet to identify what is considered essential for you and what's considered non-essential, it's the perfect read, because you'll quickly in like the first chapter get an understanding that, again, not everything has to be done. Not everything is essential. And like Warren Buffett, for example, he's a great person to use that as an example, that only works through essential tasks, only works through things that make sense, that have to be done. And so, life is not easy. It will present us with many different challenges. It'll present us with situations that will really hurt us, will really, really make us question our self-worth, make us question, are we doing the right thing? Have we done the right thing? Are we around the right people? Life will present all of those questions to you. And when that happens, take a minute to take inventory, take a minute to pay attention, because I promise you, it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. And it's happening for a reason. And it's going to allow you to shed skin and really birth the person that's supposed to show up every day and not the person that's been showing up every day. And I'm grateful to be in a position, as fucked up as it is, as sad as it is, as hurtful as it is. I'm grateful to be in a position where I've shed or am shedding skin, because there's so much more for Sizzle Speaks. There's so much more that I owe you. There's so much more that I owe my community. I owe my legacy leaders. I owe the women that I promised to be, a mentor and a coach for. I owe it to you all to be more and do more. And I owe myself everything. I really owe myself everything. And so, you know, it's hard. It's hard facing adversity. It's hard feeling like you've been disappointed or you are disappointing people that you care about, but it's necessary. It's necessary. And so I want to encourage you all, if you're just tuning in to Coffee Talks, and I almost called this Nice Kicks. How crazy is that? I used to do a podcast with my best friend called Nice Kicks, and she must be thinking about me or talking about me or something, because Nice Kicks just came to mind. But anyway, if you're watching Coffee Talks live with me right now and having this conversation, I am encouraging you to dig deep, dig deep, be honest with yourself, be honest with the people around you, um, and seek forgiveness if necessary of yourself first, so that you do create that space to be honest and be authentic and be genuine and work in your power, right? Because we all have gifts, we all have powers, we all have something about us that makes us special. And there's a purpose for you right now. There's a reason why you are here. There's a reason why you were able to wake up this morning or wake up, 5 minutes ago, depending on where you are in the world or what you do. But there's a reason why you are able to take a breath right now. And there's a purpose for everyone. And we all have a special gift, and we all have something inside of us that has been planted. And we owe it to the world to allow that to flourish. And at whatever point you realize what that is okay, right? Because we don't always know what our purpose is in the moments that we are here. We may find it next week, we may find it next year, but the more that we can be honest with ourselves, and the more that we can be authentic with the things that we do and be intentional with what we do, the faster you'll get there to understanding your purpose and your alignment and your potential. And I saw that firsthand. I thought for a moment that everything I knew came crashing down in a matter of a conversation. And quickly I realized there's two ways I can look at the scenario placed in front of me. One way is I lost it all. I lost everything. And the other way was I gained it all, and I gained everything. And what I mean by that is, if you identify negative in a situation, or you tie negative to a situation, that's what you're going to get. But if you tie positive to the situation, that's what you're going to get. And I tied positive to the situation because I decided, based on my audience and based on me knowing in my heart and my soul that I am in my purpose, that I was going to tie the positive to it. And as a result of it, there were a couple different conversations that happened that kept me in alignment with what I'm doing, and kept me aligned with, Sizzle Speaks is actually someone who has a purpose, and someone who impacts and influences people on a daily basis, and that can't stop. It can't stop. So you have to remember, you have a purpose. You have a purpose. You've been given a gift, and it's only yours, and only you can see it. But you have to be able to be the person that believes it, because everyone else can tell you and 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 tell you, but until you truly believe it, it won't happen. And I really hope that I continue to bring value. I continue to be transparent. I continue to be authentic. I continue to tell my story. I continue to give my testimony. No test, no testimony. I continue to do those things and impact those on the other side, so that you can be whoever it is that you're meant to be. Um, and I really just want to leave it all on the table and say, life is good. Life is good. And we, take action now. Don't wait. Don't wait, because life is good, but it's not promised. And that is all that I really have for today's episode. I've cut the episodes to a half an hour because I feel like it doesn't take long to get the point across. When I have guests on, it'll be a half an hour, maybe longer. But I am extremely happy for whoever is watching live. I appreciate you all. It means the world to me, because it means that, hey, you could be anywhere in the world, but you're here listening to Sizzle Speaks. So that means the world to me. I am getting ready, as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, to turn 40. Ooh, y'all be with me. To turn 40. And I've decided this year, because it is such a big milestone birthday, and because my heart really is it giver's gain, and it's about giving back for me. I know that when I was younger, growing up, I didn't have anyone to show me that dreaming bigger was possible, and that there was something out here in this world that I could look to and say, that's where I want to be. That's what I aspire to have. I can own, I can do X, Y, and Z. I can be whoever I want to be. I didn't really have that. I only knew what my neighborhood showed me. And so for my 40th, I am wanting to take 40 women, 40 young women, in the inner cities of Los Angeles on a day in the life with Sizzle Speaks, and give them that experience that I never had, because I didn't realize, what a mansion even looked like or what it was until I moved to LA and stepped foot in a mansion, right? And so at that point is when I was like, wow, this is a mansion. This is possible. Somebody just show me the way, right? And so I want to be able to do that for 40 young women in the city of Los Angeles, give them that experience, in addition to, a whole red carpet moment where they can feel like they are the celebrity. It's their time. The sky's the limit for videographer, photographer, a whole 9 yards. And also facilitate a workshop for them. So a self-confidence workshop, in addition to a financial literacy workshop, because it's really important that we teach our youth how to understand the impact of money and making money work for them. And that money is a tool. Money is a resource. Money is not yours. We don't own the money. It's not ours. It is to be worked, right? Putting our money to work is critical. And we don't teach our youth. And we weren't taught that when we were in school. We were taught that, money doesn't grow on trees, and we have to be able to, save and do this and 401k and work until we retire and put a retirement, like all this jibber jabber that they want you to learn in school so that you can learn to be a 9 to 5 or learn to be a worker, which I have no problem with 9 to 5. Y'all already know that. But I want to be able to show these young ladies that there's more out there and give back to them. That is my goal for 40. So I am doing a 40K in 40 days challenge. I do turn 40 on May 30th, 2022, which is less than 40 days. However, the challenge is going to be 40K in 40 days, because I am going to do the big day in June, before our Louvione mixer. That's the plan. The big give back day in June. But I couldn't really think of a better way to celebrate 40 years, outside the fact that I love numbers, but to celebrate 40 years than to, impact 40 young women and be able to see them walk away from an experience feeling incredibly encouraged, incredibly inspired and motivated, and see someone that looks like them be in a position of what I can consider for myself on my journey, on my path, walking in my purpose to success, right? The success looks very different to everyone. And success to me is making sure that every time I go to bed at night, I know that I've impacted or influenced or helped someone in some capacity. So I hope and I need for you all to join me on this journey, join me in making an impact, join me in bringing in a birthday in a major way. This is really important to me. So I hope that you all will join me. I'm going to leave the link in the description box so you can click the link and become a sponsor. And I do have sponsorship packages. For sponsors, you will get a give back. I believe givers gain, but I also believe in giving back. And what I'm asking is major in a way, right? So I want to make sure that people feel and sponsors feel like it's for a great purpose, because it is, but you have something as a result of your sponsorship. So look out for that link. It will be in the description box below. Join me in bringing in my 40 like no other, because we're going to do this. So there are no questions from anyone on the live about the power of saying no and working in your essential mindset versus your non-essential mindset. I want to say, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this episode. If you're watching the playback and listen to me ramble about life, I appreciate that. This is a platform that is very public and very real, and we all go through shit. And I really just wanted to take a moment to give off my shit and help someone understand that that's life. And we can always, always, always learn and grow and become better and look at things from a for us and how do we say no to become better in our purpose, better in our person, and really make an impact. So I appreciate you all dearly. Next week, I'll be back with a guest and we'll be talking about some major things on Coffee Talk. So make sure you're here. Set your notifications, set your alarms, whatever lingo happens on YouTube. Make sure you do that. Like the channel, subscribe, share it with a friend. And I will see you all on the next episode. Happy Thursday. Be blessed. Be well. Love you much. Peace out.